I want to talk about the office. Office. It's where we take the basic approach of Paratopia, social media that is unmediated by programmatic routines, which is what computers are really good at doing. They take somebody's idea about how things should work, and they program it, and then it goes over and over and over again. More and more people are becoming more and more engaged in the programmatic life. Because whereas it used to be that talking to people, interacting with people, was something that, well, it used to be you had to be face to face. And then some people came up with this idea of writing. And wow, that was a great extension. But when it was only in the hands of the wealthy, it became a tool of structuring your mind, your ways of thinking about the cosmos. That's what writing was used for primarily. There were some renegades who actually used it to say what they thought and report on what they observed. And their careful observations, their experiments. A guy named Tycho Brahe, who was a contemporary, I believe, of Galileo, didn't do what Galileo did. And I don't have any problem with the fact that Galileo recanted in order to save his life. What good would have happened of him saying, "I'm sure it's true," because the fact is what he said did get through. Just because he recanted, everybody who understood that he was right knew that he was just doing it to save his skin. And some people say, well, like Tycho Brahe, he said, I've got these 5 fingers. And one of them, the middle one, I have 2 sets of 5 fingers, and each of them have a middle finger. And that's what I'm going to say to you. And he burned for it. Quite a guy, as far as I'm concerned. He's an inspiration. Although you could try to say he was dumb. Well, no, that's the 2 ways of looking at it. Well, why did he waste his life? But at the same time, I respect the guy for saying, no, wait. I'm telling you, this is the way it is. I look through a telescope and I see things, and these things don't fit you guys with the robes and the money and all the pomp and the circumstances. This doesn't fit. What you've decided is the truth. He paid with his life for that. He would have died at some time anyway. He wouldn't be alive right now to talk about it. We could say, Tycho, aren't you glad you recanted like Galileo? It's all gone anyway. So anyway, the purpose of this particular communique is to invite you. You're welcome to come by anytime. There's only one rule, and that is for safety's sake. Please make sure that you think about it ahead of time. It can be a little tricky to pull over. So you might have to, go past, turn around, and come back. If it's not safe to especially if you're coming from the north going south, you have to cross over. And I do that a lot. But there are times that I've said, no, it's not good. I have to go down further, find a place to turn around, and come back. So please be very careful of your own life and everybody else's life. And the other thing, because of the size, there's only room for one other. There's my car, and there's room for somebody else in the car. If you happen to be on a bicycle or something, you're welcome to come even if there already is a car. But there's really only room for 2 cars. Please pull way off and then you can talk. And we could start off talking completely offline, or if you like, and I encourage people, let's not say anything until we put the recorder on, because it's always interesting to hear what goes on, our initial interactions. And it's interesting, but I don't want to pressure anybody. And I also want to say that if we've just said something and you go, I don't want people to hear what I just said, well, just go easy, delete it right then and there, okay? So that's, we respect for people's privacy is one of the foundational pillars of Paratopia. We really care about our own privacy and your privacy and their privacy. Even, well, and not that we care so much about the privacy of those people who are running things and are screwing things up, but we don't want them to know that we're talking about them unless we're ready, and unless we have unless we're very confident of our privacy. So that, in other words, if we start becoming effective in raising awareness, the thing that the people running things are, if we get effective, i.e., we learn over time, and it's not a next election cycle thing. We're putting up our candidate Bojangles, for sheriff. We are. It's not a real person, actually. We don't have an actual person to be sheriff. I think it's probably too late. Actually, we didn't get enough signatures in time for this non-existent person, and that would be a problem if we did. Anyway, but Sheriff Bojangles is an idea. It's something we can do. And there's a primary election, and unless there's a clear majority, a full majority of 50%, not just a plurality or whatever it's called, and since there are 9 people running, and they're all people that have worked in the sheriff's department. They're part of the whole. They're part of the problem, and none of them are going to change the system. However, if more people vote for a write-in candidate, and maybe by September, actually, we might have a write-in candidate who has gone to several towns or cities, ideally cities, and cleaned up their police department. Wow, wouldn't that be neat if we had somebody like that running for LA County Sheriff? I think it would be a very good thing. And it's a reasonable thing to expect. Again, I don't know what the electoral laws are, what happens. Do we even have a right to do a write-in candidacy? I don't know, but we have time on that, and it doesn't matter. Because the point of this whole campaign is simply to raise awareness. And there are so many people who have felt firsthand, or know people in their family or friends who have been tricked and manipulated and lied about so that these guys can fulfill their quotas. And it ain't right. And it's time for us to learn how to do something about it. And one of our goals is to keep the privacy going to the point where if Sheriff Bojangles, whether that's an actual person or not, if it's an actual person, we'd actually put his name out there. We'd say, we are behind Joe Smith, who cleaned up the Gary, Indiana Police Department. I'm sure that place is, I don't know if anybody's ever cleaned that place up, but I don't know. Maybe it is. You see, and there's got to be people like that, and we want to invite them. Say, hey, it's a pretty good job, $200,000 a year, and then there's all those opportunities for corruption. Except if whoever is in that office, every single person who took the time on election day to say, I want Sheriff Bojangles. I don't want any of these creeps. We are all watching. You, whoever you are, Sheriff, as well as the judges above you, because my personal experience has to do with the jails. I spent 10 days free room and board. With my dog, my car taken away from me. Sad about my dog. My dog is okay, but I no longer have my dog, and that's due to something I'm not going to go into. It's just a sad thing. I don't have my dog in. My dog was my 24/7 companion. She lived with me in my car, and in this very place, this wonderful place, Topeka Canyon, where there things like that, It's a very special place. And it was here that somebody was paranoid and saw me parked in my car working on this very here computer that I'm talking to you on. And instead of coming over and knocking, looking in, he called a sheriff because somebody's sitting in their car for an hour and a half on a Sunday morning. And you know what? The sheriff said, we heard something, they thought you were dead. Were you here for a really long time? No, an hour and a half. They think I was dead? Well, if they thought I was dead, why didn't they come and look in? Why didn't they maybe think about calling an ambulance? I mean, come on. Paranoia strikes deep, Into your heart it will creep. It starts where you were always afraid. Step out of line, the man comes and takes you away. It's time we stop, children. What's that sound? Everybody look what's going down. It's about the 4 students who were shot by our government at Kent State. Paranoia is what killed those children. Paranoia that it's the commies, it's the blues, it's all the interpretation that we're supposed to buy about when we feel fear, which is a natural feeling, then our heads take over and say, well, what's this fear all about? And if we have been taught very well, there was a song in the 1960s, you have to be taught to hate and fear. You have to be carefully taught. And if you are, then anytime you're fearful, with normal fear, the kind of fear that's appropriate, you feel something, you're not sure what's going on, something new, something a little odd, And it's good to feel your fear. It's the interpretation that is either based on, well, what do I actually see happen? Do I see that this person over there is about to do something? I mean, is he acting in a really weird, bad way, or is he just acting strange? As far as I know, there are no laws in this country yet against acting strange, and yet I've been in jail 5 times for dancing, and I'm quite serious about that. Not doing anything bad, just dancing. But anyway, I think I've spoken too long for today. Well, I'm going to say goodbye, and hopefully it's going to go off this time when I say goodbye, and it's supposed to stop, Let's see, so I get myself set up here, and say bye.